Howdy gang, Michelle here, and today I am bringing you Alexis, and I'm not quite done this yet, which is why I still have coming soon on here, but by the time you guys get it, I will be done. So I want to show you actually how this is done, and it works up really quick. I am just using a big skein of yarn that I got from my landlady's knit shop, and this one is actually one I've worked with before and I really like it. If you guys have done my heather lace, this is the same yarn I used for that and I actually love it. This is called King Cole Curiosity, and the name of it is called Heather. The color of it is called Heather, and it's like a 3 weight. It's not really a 4, it's kind of thin, as you can see here. When I put my finger through it, see, it's kind of a really thin 3 weight, but it's perfect for what I'm using it for. So I'm going to put this back over here and show you guys. Obviously this is not steamed yet, but this is giving me just so much happiness with what I'm using it for and the design that I'm working up with it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's kind of hard to see, I guess, but it looks like little ivy pieces, like vines working up a wall. So there's one. You got one over here. You got one over here. And it works up really quick. I'm using my Sinwood rake for this. I'm using one side, and this is, I want to say it's a 1/2 inch. It is. It's a 60 peg 1/2 inch rake that I'm using for this, and it is worked in sets of 9 with 2 for the edge pegs. And for this is 30 across, and I'm using 29 out of the 30 for this. And so it's 27 plus 2, which gives me 29 for this. And to set up your loom, it's actually really easy. You guys know that I'm known for my masking tape. I have oodles of it. Oodles. Like, I have always got one on my desk here, and I always have a bunch over in that direction, on a whole tree of tapes that I have over there. And that helps me to keep track of it. But if you guys use your stitch markers or your little rubber bands, or however you mark your loom, that's totally up to you. Again, no looming police here. So as you can see, as always, I have the written instructions here and the chart down here with the legend as well. Some people are visual, some people like to just read the instructions, some people like to follow the video. So it's really all up to you what you like to do. So for me, I like to work from right to left. Even though I am ambidextrous, I like to hold my hook in my right hand, but I write and I eat left-handed, so it's weird. Anyway, so I go from the right to the left, and I start with my first peg here, and I have a little paper clip here, and this tells me where, when I come back, because I left off over here last night when I was working on this, before I called it a night. I left off over here, so that way when I come back over here, I know where exactly I left off, which was on the second set, which is this one. That's the one I knew I was working on. All right, so basically what you're going to do is it's a 4-row really it's a 2-row repeat, or a 3-row repeat. So on this first one, you're going to purl for 2, knit 1, then you're going to yarn over, knit 2 off, knit, and then purl 2, and then knit 1, and then you're just going to repeat that across however sections wide you want to do it. So again, it's multiples of 9 and then plus 2. Now, if you want to do this in the round, you don't have to do the plus 2. You just have to do it in multiples of 9. So keep that in mind. If you have the flexi loom, or if you have the multi loom or anything like that, the all-in-one, you can use those as well. It's totally up to you if you want to do this in the round as well. This would actually work up really nice as a blanket. The back side of this is actually kind of pretty as well. So this is the back side of it, and it's really not bad looking. So this would actually work up really well on the back side as well. So it's totally up to you what you want to use it for, how you want to work it up. It's up to you. So with this, obviously I use my hack for yarning over, so that way you don't have to worry about your tension being too tight, or you you know, run the risk of breaking your yarn. You don't have to run the risk of breaking your hook or a peg or anything. So you use my hack. If you're new, you can find my hack over on my Rainier Cow video, which is really easy to find. You could just go into my free videos and look up Rainier Cow video, and then it'll be there. So what I'm going to do is, right now I'm just going to knit. So after you finish the first row or the third row where you have to move things, the second row is always, or the odd row, the even row. What you have to do is basically knit, and it's true knit or U-knit, not E-wrap. But the empty pegs you are going to E-wrap. The ones that already have yarn on them, you're just going to knit those off. That's why I said this works up really quick, because the only thing you have to worry about is just making sure that you move those ones. See, now this one is empty, so basically what I'm going to do is come around and then swing it around to this one that has 2, which is where I moved it. I'm trying to do it through the camera. And then you just keep going to the end. And again, I have this one that's empty. I'm going to E-wrap that one. Whoop. I'm going to grab that one I got left on there. There we go. Come on. There we go. Sorry about the camera. And the last peg. So on this last peg we always knit, and then we come back around and purl, or depending on the way you're going, you want to either purl and knit or knit and purl. That way it gives you a nice clean edge instead of a turn and wrap where it's loose. And when I say a nice clean edge, this is a nice clean edge. As you can see, it's not turn and wrap where it's loose and messy and everything like that. You get a nice clean edge when you do that. Okay, so my marker tells me, my paper clip tells me that I just finished the third row. So now I'm going to go back down here to row 1, and what I do is I come over here and I always start it, so that way if something interrupts my time while I'm doing this, because you know husband, kid, animals. Once I start it, then I take this and I move it over. And then I keep going. And what I do is I mark my loom, so I know the top one is for row 1, the bottom is for row 3, and I have an arrow here. Let me bring that a little closer. I have an arrow here in black, so this tells me that this peg needs to move over here on row 1, and this one is in red. This tells me that on row 3 this one has to move over here for row 3, and that's how it's marked all along here. So I knitted purled these two, 1 and 2. Then I'm going to knit this one, and again, true knit or U-knit. I'm going to knit this one, even though this is going to be one that is involved with moving. Alright, so now because I'm on row 1 tells me that I have to move this one here to here, but I've already knitted this one. So now I'm going to come back here. I'm going to give myself a little wiggle room, drop it over here, pull it not super snug, but pull it so that, you know, it's not really loose or messy, but don't yank it. Don't make it so tight that when you come back and you try to knit it off, that it's gonna be crazy tight. Just shore it up a little bit so that way it's not so loose that it falls off. Okay, and then continue with what it says. Now for here it says knit, so I'm going to knit, then I'm going to purl twice, oops, sorry about that. I'm going to knit, purl twice, knit. Now I come to another where I'm going to have to move my stitches. So I'm going to knit, knit, and then I'm going to come back to this one and again pull it out a little bit, move it over, and just tug it a little bit, knit, purl, purl, knit, purl, purl, and then I'm coming up on another one that I have to move, as you can see, this over. So I'm going to knit, knit again, and then I'm going to come back, I'm going to move this over, and then I'm just going to keep until the end of my row. Purl, purl, knit, and there's an E at the end of my row right here. This tells me it's my edge peg. Now when I go this way, when I go to the left, I always purl first, and then I knit, and then just like before, I am going to knit all the way back, as you guys already know. So there you go. This is Alexis, and I can't wait to see how everybody works it up and what you guys think of it. So there you go. I can't wait to see what you guys all create. Thanks for looming, guys. Have a great day.